cybersecurity. This is crazy. This is from the Washington Post, right? Joseph Marks writing for the Washington Post. He said, during the 4 years in office, Donald Trump failed to hold adversaries, including Russia, accountable for hacking U.S. targets, removed experienced cybersecurity defenders from their posts for petty reasons, and undermined much of the good work being done on cybersecurity within federal agencies. And this was, a survey of over 100 cybersecurity respondents. 71% of them agreed with every one of those statements. Here's what happened over the weekend. Colonial Pipeline, one of the largest pipeline operators in the United States. I think most people are unaware that we're even, the country is just covered with these fuel pipelines. We are very dependent on oil. Fossil fuels is that's what runs our country. That's what feeds our country. It's what fuels our country. The transition to some sort of renewables. Again, keep in mind, if everybody in the Northeast had solar panels on their roofs like they do in Germany, then, although Germany is negotiating for a pipeline with Russia right now, which is a whole nother topic. But in any case, if everyone had solar panels on their roofs, at least this would be radically mitigated. But no. And they had to shut this thing down because this is 45% of the East Coast fuel. I think where it's going to get, over the short term, what we're already seeing is the price of gas going up and home heating oil, although, fortunately we're going into the summer. But the area where it's going to get real freaky if this lasts very long is going to be jet fuel. And although this pipeline, I'm pretty sure the pipeline, everything I've been able to read indicates that the pipeline is just carrying crude, basically. So they're refining the jet fuel up in the Northeast, which means that they'll have, probably weeks, if not months worth of supply. But I haven't been able to find anything that has a definitive, these are all like trade secrets held by giant multi-billion-dollar corporations. But this was apparently done by a criminal gang known as the Dark Side, which is based out of Russia. And they have been doing these ransomware attacks all over the place. These come after news of the SolarWinds hack, which also came out of Russia. And that's one that's particularly fascinating. This is... Again, from CNN, for example, by Samantha Vinograd. Hackers infiltrate the Trump administration officials. This is from the last year of the Trump administration. Trump administration officials revealed several federal agencies, including the State Department, the Department of Homeland Security, and large parts of the Pentagon, have been compromised in what could have been one of the largest cyber attacks in U.S. history. The hackers infiltrated SolarWinds, a software company based in Austin, and 400 of the Fortune 500 companies. And all these federal agencies took their software updates from SolarWinds, and those software updates contained this virus that exposed them and their email and their data to this, basically to this Russian hack. And when news came out that the Russians had not only hacked our federal government, but were actively inside our federal government, the response of the Trump administration was like, so what? What's the big deal? It's really pretty breathtaking. In fact, actually, what Trump, the bipartisan leaders of the House Homeland Security Committee on Wednesday, this is again from the last months of the Trump administration, severely criticized a proposed drop in funding for cybersecurity. The lawmakers took particular issue with the proposed funding cut due to the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, as a federal office. This, of course, Trump was upset with these guys. How dare you stop our friends from hacking us? Or how dare you say that, the election was clean? With a proposed cut for CISA of over $250 million going into next year. And this is, the Republicans were going along with this, right, in Congress, saying, yeah, no problem. But this is, the Trump administration is actively, this is, again, from Wired.com, Ishan Mehta. The Trump administration is actively undoing the progressive cybersecurity policy of past administrations. The role of the White House security coordinator was eliminated by John Bolton, Former Secretary of State Rex Tillerson removed the Office of Coordinator of Cyber Issues. And the White House's 2018 budget, keep in mind, this is 3 years ago, zeroed out funding for the biggest digital evidence training center in the country. Now, Congress has tried to fight back on this, or at least Democrats in Congress. Republicans have just gone along with this. That this is just, another mess left over from the Trump administration and from his getting cozy with God only knows. I mean, whether it was that he was trying to, I think personally that somebody in Russia, whether it's the oligarchs or Putin or the government itself, or whether it's just he wants to build Trump Tower, he spent 4 years basically doing whatever they wanted and saying that they were wonderful and all that kind of stuff. And I think that he was afraid to go after them. He was afraid to say anything as president, and he still is. And it may be, I know now it comes out that there's a second Steele report that was provided to the FBI that actually may have videos of Trump being compromised in Moscow. Who knows? But, what the hell is going on here? Well, actually, I can tell you. Trump ruined our cybersecurity capabilities. And so Biden is now saying, number one, particularly with private infrastructure, we need to carefully monitor these companies because obviously they can't do it themselves. And we need to, have strong guardrails and hold them accountable.